Dom and Julian for coming through and just making me want to actually go do something, eat better, live healthy, create cool stuff. But yeah, we back. It's been a busy week. It has been a busy month. I've been trying to tell y'all, and a lot of stuff cooking, and we just going. We're not done yet. It's still a few days left before the Dunk forging event closes, and shout out to everybody who's forged, who's helped share information. Got to give a huge shout out to, especially I think Kane. Kane has been like trying to like put a chokehold on onboarding and teaching people how to simply like understand what's happening. And I think all you guys make it just a lot easier to keep pushing this thing forward because anything that we don't catch, you're helping out on, and then vice versa. It becomes important things for us to think about as well when it comes to how we want to add narratives and put content out there. But yeah, I was gonna say this is one of those spaces where it shouldn't be me having too long of monologues. I don't want to run on too long. I'm on my like second cup of cold brew, and it's very strong, and so I might have some loose lips today. So I'm just hoping we at least get some questions going, and we can have some conversations that way. It's not too much of me narrating, but yeah, feel free to jump in. If there's anything I wanted to start with, I think a good one to start with is 604 Cicero. He had messaged me, kind of uh, is a question that's come up a couple of times. We've talked about through the week in a few different spaces, but it's always fair to address because it's still something some people are going to talk about. But I think Larry Jack just asked the same question. But the why is there and not why, but what do we think about the whole ETH pricing move and how that's affected the cost that we initially put out, which was 222, and now being somewhere around like 240, 250, depending on when you bought Ethereum. And I think it's just that there's a lot of factors. It's about when you bought Ethereum. It's about what you took into account when we put the pricing out there. I definitely understand people's concerns, and it's not something that we take lightly. And I think that's why we've talked about it. We're definitely trying to move towards a future where it's easier for people to just kind of create these experiences or take part of these forging events. And so the public obviously being a credit card situation, and some people seeing that and saying, well, I could have potentially saved $30 by not using Ethereum and just trying to go for the voids in public sale, which that is your prerogative. But when it comes to online public sales, you guys know how that goes. Sometimes it might not go your way, and you might not be able to secure what you want to get. And that's kind of the benefit of guaranteed access. But that's why it's also only one colorway that was offered to the public there. But like I said, I don't want to ramble on too much because, like I said, I understand people's perspectives, and I just want to point out where we're also trying to not just move past this, but just consider what the full situation looks like. Because the benefit with these forging events is it is for the Web3 crowd. It is for people who understand this, and those who are being onboarded by seeing it as like a cool opportunity to get an exclusive access pass. That's kind of the thing that we're all trying to work towards, right? Is like bringing more people into this space and seeing a use case for blockchain. But we also understand that there's definitely barriers for some people. It causes friction. Guys, I made a whole long 3-minute video. I understand sometimes 3-minute videos aren't what people want to see. So it'll be a lot easier though for those who missed out on the forging event. You can always just now say, hey, look, go to this public sale link that's going to be happening. But let's throw it to Shadow. He's finally got his hand up. Save me. I can take a breath and a sip of some coffee. What's good, my guy?
No, I was just want to give my experience. I completely missed the creative space. I was working. I didn't see that, but since we're on this topic again, I mean, I know ETH has kind of went down a little bit, and I know we still have a couple more days. And you guys have said that, you know, it's not a first come first serve type of deal. So potentially if Ethereum continues to go down, I mean, if you're willing to take that risk, maybe at towards the end it might be closer to 222. But for me, I mean, I did mint on day one. And to be honest with you, I just knew the amount of shoes I was going for. I actually didn't even know what exact price I bought them for. I just made sure I had enough Ethereum, and then I just started minting. But I know everybody goes about it a little bit differently. I minted some shoes for my mom. She gave me 220. And I just minted whatever was over that. So, I mean, it is what it is. In my opinion, it is what it is. I know not for everybody, it is what it is. I just wanted to come out and say that I did not feel like or get the impression that Artifact was being malicious or trying to get one up on somebody else. But I just hope that since it has been nothing but cool posts of people forging the shoes and then posts about people talking about the price. Um, I guess just in the future, I mean, hopefully it's already been brought up to Artifact and then we'll just see, what happens next, I guess. But I don't want it to take away from the opportunity that we have to forge these shoes, because I feel like yes, everybody has a right to be upset if they're not okay with the price, but at the same, like, on the same note, like, you got to also realize the opportunity you have right now is either you stand on business and say, you know what, it's not the price I want, I'm not going to forge, or you forge and then maybe later on you might actually be really happy that you forged at that price. But that's all from a community member perspective, not saying that my way is right or my thinking is right, because it's not. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I just hope that we all at least get out of this, that we have an opportunity that even people in public, like you just said, are not going to have. So I think we should take it no matter the price. But that's just me.
Yeah, let's throw it to the hands, and we'll keep these conversations going. For anybody who hasn't been in these spaces before, it's open to all opinions, all perspectives. You don't even got to be a clone or artifact maxi or holder. Really, just try to keep people enlightened to how things are going in this side of the world. But Kaiba, what is good? I feel like I haven't talked to you in a long time.
It has been a minute. I was going to say the same thing, Kaz, but it's good to be back. I guess I don't know that I ever left. I just haven't been super vocal, but probably because there's always enough people being super vocal. But one thing I was just going to point out. I mean, I also wanted to share kind of a, I don't know if I call it, well, yeah, a success story, if you will. But as far as the price fluctuation and stuff, I get why it's confusing, but we still have the advantage in the sense of only people that know how to have a MetaMask, operate it, use OpenSea, buy Ethereum, and do all of these transactions have the ability to buy these shoes. And that's not going to be the case a year from now. That's speculation, of course, but by the time these shoes get in our hands, we can sell them for whatever we want, cash, crypto, credit, whatever. So keep that in mind. That does play into the scarcity. It is good for you if you do want to buy it and resell it. It's good for you if you don't. So I'd say don't sweat it. But my little success story that I wanted to share was I've got a sneaker shop locally here in Minneapolis. There's one in LA as well. Um, and I just swung over there today with some of my Air Force Ones, Murakami hoodies and stuff, and just kind of displayed it out for some folks. They loved it. I mean, they were in right away. Like, these are the coolest hoodies I've ever seen. For those of you who haven't either opened them or didn't end up getting those Murakami hoodies, they're insane. The quality is sweet. the story behind it is still solid for people who don't know that these things used to be 50 grand and now they're 2 grand or whatever. They don't care about that. They just see something that they really like. And that clones can give you access to that. So it was a cool story to tell people that weren't already familiar. And one of the other things that it kind of brought was kind of that perspective of one of the guys in the shop's like, dude, NFTs are a scam. Crypto's a scam. I'm not interested. He walks over, he looks at the Angel Air Force Ones, and he's like, but holy fucking shit, these are the coolest shoes I have ever seen. Like, how much do I buy these for? I'm like, well, these aren't for sale, but you can check StockX or somewhere else. And he does, and they're like $1,000. So he's like, what? Wait, and I needed an NFT to get this? And that story again, like he has no interest in crypto, NFTs, or anything, but he wants the shoes. So at some point, it will be easy for a guy like that to buy them. We kind of just have to be patient. I mean, ComplexCon sounds like that'll be a good opportunity. But after that trip, I mean, we're going to forge and hook up like 30 plus pairs of dunks. So it was a good showing, and it was fun.
Hey, shout out to Kaiba, and I know there's a lot of you guys, so I want to give a blanket statement. But damn, some of y'all have been cooking with the in-person just onboarding, just going and showing people, and I think that's like the best thing because sometimes you really, and not sometimes, it's just a fact. I think anybody who has these shoes can see like it's really just a different type of quality that you don't understand until you pick it up or hold it or see it in person, and then you're like, okay, I understand now. I get what's going on here. But let me throw it to Mr. Z Rubin real quick. I'd love to see what he's got to say about all of this stuff.
I got two things. One, just playing off Dre Mill. I got a question for Cash.
No, sir. Boot him.
Boot him. He's done. The second one, just because Johnny's raising his hand. Johnny, I need you to keep us all straight, including me, because I'm a huge sneakerhead. Sometimes you post your digital stuff. Sometimes you post your physical stuff. And anytime I think you're posting your physical stuff, I'm like, yo, is this for sale? So before you ask your question, just let me know when you post these physical things if it's just like, you're working on something for someone else, for yourself. But I'm interested, dude, because I love sneakers, and what you're making is kind of crazy. So just saying.
Yo, Zach, first I appreciate you, my guy. Yeah, I think that's where it's like I've kind of found my lane over the last 8 years is being able to digitally design sneakers in a physical, like I take the best photos, obviously, right? And then I use like the best base photo to be able to render to make it look real. And so it kind of tricks your mind whether or not you know if it's a final sample or if it's just like a digital render. So like the reptiles that I did in the Black Mirror Comedy, those were just digital renders of the pairs that I have. Again, they looked real, but nothing saying that can't be possibly done. So obviously I would love to reach out to maybe Toby and get like the high res versions of the Murakami print to be able to do it right and justice. I'd probably also want to do it probably embroidered and do it kind of like the Murakami jacket that we got for the DNA. I think that would be insane to see on a pair of shoes. But yeah, as far as the reason why I raised my hand is I just want to shout Artifact out for listening. I've been saying for probably 2 years, the only reason why my friends aren't in this space is because they can't purchase it because they're not into crypto. So for you guys to, experiment again with another drop and allow public people outside of this space to be able to purchase with a credit card and actually be able to, I think, hopefully see the physical product before they purchase. Just knowing that's the first drop of a potential gateway opening for every future drop is super exciting to me because I always said the floodgates will open the second that you open this up to actual proper payment rails that most people are used to. So with that, just knowing that you guys are introducing that at ComplexCon, I'm like just super excited and just happy for everyone that's not in Web3 to be able to actually have an opportunity to secure a void pair or whatever else that quote unquote what the moment might be at ComplexCon. So yeah, just shout out to the team for listening.
Yeah, there's a few things we're experimenting with, right? I mean, if anybody listened to that space that I think Z went on, either it was a week ago or 2 weeks ago, I'll try and find the link once I go on mute. But he was just answering questions about like Artifact's direction, what we're doing, what we're not doing. And he said something along the lines of, if anybody has figured this out yet or says they've figured it out yet, they're lying. Like, it's still a huge playground and nobody should be maxis on anything. To each their own in terms of their opinion, but in terms of like this space and wanting to onboard new people, sometimes you just have to play a bit, right, on the playground. I think with the credit card stuff, what's going to be interesting, right, is, you know, it'll be interesting for us to run the numbers in terms of, all right, if we look at wallets that have forged during this event and other events, right, and comparing the rate at which people redeem NFTs from the CloneX and the Void against the rate at which people who are buying with credit card do it, you know, one would assume that, you know, our community is definitely going to be higher. That's probably the case. But if it's not higher by much, right, it's like, okay, well, have we reached a point where people really are more interested in what could be had from having an original token and getting a physical and then maybe worrying about the digital second, right? Like, I think it's good experimentation for us in terms of using credit cards. And I also think the way that we're doing it, it's going to be less friction for the users, so that, like, there are a lot of solutions right now out there that allow for credit card, but they're still like involving the blockchain a bit, right? I think this is also going to be telling to us like how to, you know, change it up in the future in terms of allowing for multiple options and different personas to be onboarded. So yeah, Jen, I'm glad you recognize it. You know, nothing's going to be perfect the first time around, but I think it was definitely time for us to branch out a bit more. And I think between ComplexCon and this credit card mechanism, I think we'll see, right? But we're excited.
Yeah, I think that was the exact reason why Zach should join Spaces, because he always has great answers and a great speaking voice. Let's do this. Kuro put his hand up, which is great etiquette, but I don't think we've heard from Drew Yorker in a Spaces before. And I want to throw it to Drew first, Kuro, and then we'll go to you.
Oh man, appreciate it. What's going on, guys? I am Drew Yorker on Twitter, but some of you may know me as Bobo York in Discord. Good to be in a space with you guys. Yeah, I just came up to be a speaker earlier on when you guys were talking about all the talk about the S inflation and the $222. I guess we're off that topic a little bit now, but you know, I think it's easy to see the people complaining in the Discord and kind of write it off as, you know, they're making such a fuss. Sometimes it seems like they're going on and on for 24 hours about what's ultimately $20. I think that we're going to learn a lot about, you know, advertising something at a USD price and then locking something in on an ETH price and how the average person is going to respond to that. I think a lot of this messaging that, you know, Artifact kind of learns as these things come up instead of anticipating them, which is, you know, unfortunate, but ultimately at no huge consequence. That's all I really had to say about that. Also, we got a nice fall coming up, don't we? So we have, you know, the Artifact lulls were difficult, you know, kind of get bored a little bit, but we got a nice couple of weeks of shoe forging. We got this vial thing coming up that I'm pumped about. And if they're all on time with Animus, we may even get a little bit of that before the new year. So I'm pumped. And that's all I wanted to say. Thanks for having me.
Well, I'm glad you made it out Discord and into the Spaces squad, because I think that's super dope. I know you've been around for a long time, so super cool to hear you in Spaces and definitely understand your perspective. I think that's why I wanted to touch on that topic so people understood it wasn't something that like we felt like to gloss over, because well, I think you kind of hinted at it. It really is coming down to like messaging, and I think the team is very, very aware of how many types of audience members we might have, where there might be people who understand ETH pricing right away. If we say 0.14, they would be able to calculate it within like 3 seconds. Whereas other people see ETH 0.14 and they're like, all right, well, I'm definitely not going to buy that. So there's definitely layers to thought processes behind messaging that goes out, but at the same time, like Zach said, nothing's going to be perfect, and there's always learning lessons as we keep doing this. So I think it's just another one to note down and make sure we keep in mind in the future. But
Yeah, I think the one thing to add on to what Cass is saying, like, if I could rewrite that sentence in the FAQ, I think we did make a conscious decision to show the USD number because we always show it in ETH, right? Regardless of what our audience is. And it wasn't to trick anyone. It was more so just to level set the community in terms of this is our intent, right? In terms of we want this sneaker to be this price. I think if we would have rewrote that, we would have been clearer in terms of note, though, that ETH fluctuates. Right now, based on what we're seeing and what it could go to, it should be between this range. Price will be kept and set at a certain ETH price, like a little bit more on the disclaimer side. But knowing some of the feedback that we're getting now, even if we did that, I think it's definitely a learning for us in terms of our next drop, in terms of how we price something. So it's not something we're glancing over, as Cass is saying. I just want to reinforce that point. And it's definitely welcome good constructive feedback. I think everybody on our team is like, yeah, the community's right. Not like, oh shit, like be quiet. Like, I don't think anybody's saying that. So it's a good shout.
quiet, Zach. No. Never. Carol, let's go to you. And anybody else who wants to jump in, feel free to request.
Okay, so the modular parts don't need an immediate answer, but those are coming out soon, right?
Yeah, we definitely should have some of that ready for all the creators. I think well before the physicals get here. So I think it's going to be fun to see people play around with those. So just stay tuned. Carol came out like a ninja, asked one question, ready to dip. Okay. Speaking of ninjas, someone's being very quiet and respectful. Usually he comes in a bad take, interrupting people 5 seconds in, causing mayhem. Today he's on his business. I heard you in spaces earlier trying to educate. But yeah, let's throw it to you, Ninja. Let's see what you got thinking.
What's up? I'm here to turn up the space. No, let me stop. I'm gonna breathe. I'm gonna be zen. No, I think I missed a lot of the space. I'm driving, so sorry for the bad connection or whatever. I just want to know, is there any updates on ComplexCon?
Yeah, definitely should have more updates for those who want to go to ComplexCon and who are interested in that. We'll be sharing more about that very soon. So stay tuned.
Awesome. And also too, I just did it. 8Fest has a spot open for clones for a event in Studio City. Looks pretty dope. Drinks, alcohol, food, all that good stuff. And they've made some whitelist spots open, so you can just register through. If you just go to LA Apes or Lapes or whatever it is, you can get a ticket. I just got mine, claimed mine on Token.
Wow, Ninja, so you're going to be in Hong Kong without us? Is that what you're saying?
No. It's for LA. It's for LA Apes. It's for LA fee. It's a claim. So if case you can't go to Hong Kong and you're in LA, clones can go to this event too. There's you just have to, verify your clone in the wallet.
Oh, word. Shout out to the LA Apes. That's love the cross collaboration and the community. Community's always growing together. LA definitely does a good job of that.
Yeah, I've been to a few of their events before, and they're pretty dope. I mean, last time they were giving out oh my gosh, I think we got an eighth or a quarter of weed. We got a whole bunch of stuff, alcohol. I mean, of course, I'm just shilling drugs at 8 parties, but no, it's a great time. It's really good cross contamination. I mean, cross proliferation. I mean, cross communication. Yeah, I'm not trying to shill
I
on their
mean,
things.
Ninja, I wish this was the pre-acquisition days, right? Because then Cass and I could talk a bit more, but I can't really say much.
I do want to say though, for the communication part, Again, I missed most of it. I just caught kind of the tail end of it. As far as like the price for the dunks, like I definitely saw the feedback on the timeline, and I heard it in the spaces. And I just want to say, like, it's it's definitely from my perspective. This is purely my perspective. Much improved from especially the FAQ. I read through most of it. I mean, I read through all of it, but you know, it's a lot. I was pretty impressed with just how well everything was detailed. And I was really trying to look from a perspective, like, if I didn't know this stuff, would I understand it? And I felt like it was done very well. I've said this before, so it's just another friendly reminder, not to harp on anymore. I think just one of the simplest things, if it's within the wheelhouse of how Artifact is going to be managing the payments and stuff, and is that if we just had a USDC or USDT or some sort of stable coin option, I think that would just help alleviate a lot of the issues that people had there. But I would say overall, it was communicated very well, but I could absolutely see how people can misinterpret things. I just want to remind everyone, like, we are all learning through this process, and just give a lot, as much as we can, just to give a lot of grace and a lot of understanding, because I've seen, especially from other communities, not so much this one, this is just my observation, just a lot of just like coming down really hard on people. And now that I'm a person in the space with a product, I'm feeling it too, and it's just making me extra sensitive, extra empathetic, extra understanding to, like, you're just trying to do something good, and of course nothing is perfect in this thing, and like just understanding, like, everyone is trying to really do their best in this space. We're still a baby, like 2 years old. We're just walking. We're just crawling. I mean, we're just barely walking and talking. So just allow us all some space and grace to grow for everyone.
I think Cash might disagree with me, but it's fine because there's room for constructive criticism on the same team. But I think the one thing that I'm happy to see more of, this is going to be like a weird take. Like, if there was a Twilight Zone version of bad take, it'd be weird take, which is, you know, a lot of the criticism I'm seeing lately, not just, in terms of, feedback on price via the dunks or something else, is more about the product and the way and the comms, and less about, like, hey, I was offered this, or I thought we were going to get that. And I think that's telling in terms of, like, Artifact is putting out some real genuinely crafted stuff, right? And it's less about how the overall market was back in the day. Now, I'm also wrong there too. There are a lot of people who are looking for what I just said, but I've noticed, Ninja, that a lot of the constructive feedback is more on stuff that people actually want, rather than something that, like, people think that they, like, definitely earned or deserve type thing, right? Which is interesting, right? Because it means that Artifact has something that is special and unique in terms of the quality we put into stuff. And I invite that criticism too, whether it's on the price point or anything, because it makes sure that we improve, so that we not only, like, live up to our standards for our community, but, like, we try to grow more. Because that FAQ, sorry, that's my son in the background. The FAQ was written really well, I think, but really for our audience, right? I think if we were going to write it in a way where other people can participate, I think the mechanism that we would use for people to participate would be a bit different. And also we would word stuff a bit differently. But I think we were really proud of this FAQ just because we tried to hit everything that we could, but there's always something we can't think of. But I appreciate the feedback, man, and we welcome it. I think it's good. It keeps us on our toes and makes for better comms and better product overall.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm always looking at projects from a business perspective, as well, not just community, and just wholly and holistically. And, like, I really mean this. Like, you guys have really stepped it up in all areas. Is it perfect? No. Is there room for improvement? Yes. Like, tons of room for improvement. But, like, I think what I'm most seeing, and like you were saying, is like people, it is special, and you see, like, people are invested in unique ways. And I think my biggest frustration is hearing people like, oh, they're not listening, or, oh, man, and I get it, but it's like, bruh, like, relax, like, just breathe, like, Rome wasn't built in a day, like, everyone just chill. And it's like, it's one thing to bring constructive criticism in a way that is constructive, that's, like, hey, and I have never found in this community, from my experience, a shortage of people who would listen, whether it's the community managers like Kaz, whether it's Zap in the space, whether it's you. Like, there's never been a shortage of people listening. And I just ask that, I think people just need to, just understand, like, everybody's doing their best, like I was saying earlier,
Yeah,
to have that
yeah.
grace.
The one thing to add on to that too, just another recent example. So the What the Artifact NFTs and sneakers, right, which were generally well received. We still got a little bit of criticism and constructive feedback in terms of, okay, so you've rewarded the people who got all 10, but like I've been with Artifact ride or die from day one. Like, what up, right? And I think our mindset was like, people who wanted to collect all 10, it would be a nice surprise, right? But at the end of the day, it's like, oh, wait, you know what? You're right, right? It's not that like we have to do these things, we want to do these things. So it's like the next time we conceive of something like that, it's like, yes, we could reward people who collect all for sure if we want to do something like that again, but we could also surprise and delight people. That's a classic mechanism used on social even before this whole NFT thing. So yeah, there's nothing like a little surprise and delight for the fan rather than somebody who could just afford everything. So I even think in stuff that we do 95% well, there's that 5% where it's like, nah, we can improve.
I mean, Zach, to be honest with you guys, the team didn't need to send me the alien pair. I mean, to be honest with you, I wasn't able to collect all 10 pairs. And to see, a handful of the people that have been here and riding and dying again, it's like there was something you didn't have to do. And it was something that, it meant the world, meant the world to me. And I'm sure it meant the world to all the other ones that got pairs as well. So shout out to the team for listening.
Hey, Johnny, I'll take them aliens. Dre, you want them DNA sent to my place? We live real close. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'll take them off your hands. Might be a little bit too big, but we'll make it work. And shout out to Zach for being the super dad. Just walking the little one. Let's do this. Let's throw it to President real quick, and then we'll throw it to Shadow, who had his hand up. President, what's going on? Don't do this to us, Prez. No. He's here. Oh, he can't right now. Let's go to Shadow. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Hold up. I gotta look at my DMs real quick. Yeah, it was Prez. Hey man, Prez, whatever you cooking up, bro, can't wait to see it. I gave Prez my files, man. So he cooking up something. I don't know. But yeah, so going to that deal, I do like Ninja's idea. If there was another form of payment, that'd be cool. I mean, potentially maybe, something like a drip coin, that'd be even cooler. But we won't get into that. But yeah, I'm just saying, bro. Like, everybody don't like paying with ETH. I mean, maybe y'all want to pay in a different coin. I don't know.
I don't
I'm
like
I'm
the
I'm
SEC. What?
what's up?
He just said the
No,
magic
let's keep it going.
three-letter word, but keep going.
Nah, yeah, man. I don't know. But no, seriously. Someone's gonna ask a question. I'm assuming you guys, Zach and Cass, are you guys gonna be at Complex Con?
Yeah, I'll be there.
So, quick question about Complex Con. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make it. But for those who are not going to be able to make it to Complex Con, I still have not seen. I know it's posted somewhere, but I still have not seen the bad take, and like a lot of different, stages that you guys did during SneakerCon. Is there any way, if not, that's totally fine. I'm just throwing it out there. Is there any way to have, you guys do like the Twitch live type of deal, but is there any possible way to have that as well at Complex Con, or maybe just a overhead view? I know people will really love to kind of like, even though we're not going to be there, but just love to feel like we're there. If we can kind of, watch like some clips or like an hour long sit down with you guys, even if it's just, just y'all. I'm not talking like the whole team and Zach and everybody, but just even if it's just you, Cass, just like, talking about it, or, that type of stuff. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, I'll say this. I know Cass has been saying this a lot. It's only because we're just trying to straighten it all out before we communicate. But there's going to be a bunch of info coming out soon on ComplexCon. But I could say in regards to your question, it's definitely on our minds how to factor in comms and content related to people who can't go. And I think people will be happy in terms of what we come up with during the event for people who can't come. But we'll confirm more details as we get closer. But that's all I could say right now.
Appreciate it.
Well, if President isn't back yet, we can throw it to Kaiba. We'll give him a second. He's gonna stare into his icy robot glasses. But Kaiba, it's all you, brother.
Dope. I just thought, since this is all things Artifact, I would ask about any Animus updates. I feel like that's the thing that I'm pretty much the most excited about. But I feel like we haven't heard a whole lot lately.
I think that's for a good reason, because there's been a lot of focus on these upcoming portions, and I feel like it would get quite distracting if we start, as we've seen, where people feel like if we start a conversation on a topic and then we move to something else, people get a little not so happy about that. So I think with everything that's going on around forging events, that'll be the focus for the immediate short term. But Animus definitely will have its time in the sun. I think and it's one of those things. It's a lot of effort being put into the team, so it's always best to just let it have its own spotlight and not try to rush things. I saw Shadow's hand immediately jumped up. He heard his something in there. Let's here we go, Shadow. Let's get it. Let's get it.
No, no, no. I'm not gonna press it or nothing like that. I was just gonna say, like, I do agree with you guys. Like, you guys have so much. Artifact has so much in its ecosystem, and there's been things like the Evo that has been offline for, I don't know if it's been a year yet or not, or if it is, it's getting up there. That I do agree with you that as much as I also love Animus and want to know, is there a public sale this year? Is there not? Is there, news? Is it next year? I do also, also know that there's a lot of people out there, like I know Ellen is one of them, who really has been waiting for the, digital side of the, the shoes, and then you also got the other forge coming up. So I was just gonna back you up and say, yeah, I agree. Like, let's do this, and then also gives other people time to do some background pickup if they need to. But yeah.
Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. I'm gonna throw it to Mr. Dre Mill. Then we're gonna go to Beetle and then Rise.
I got a question for Cass. Actually, I don't even
It's
have
so
any
good.
questions, bro.
It's so good.
I don't have any questions. I just want to come up here and say that, for real. I really don't have one. Sorry.
Bro, this is what we get when engagement farmers come into the spaces. They just come in with random ass comments.
I got a question. Kaz, why did you think I was because I was a producer, that I was some old, fat, white, short, bald guy? Do I sound like an old? Maybe I do. Damn, maybe I do. Shit. No, all right, I'll turn down.
Ninja, let's be real. You're the guy fixing your bathroom, can't work the headphones, always talking about your expert level Hollywood stories, which you do have a lot of, and you do have a long history that half of us can't even figure out. So it's like, yeah, man, you did sound like 40 or something, 40 plus, ready to retire in your hills. But we'll save that conversation for another day.
Yo, I thought the same thing too before I met you, Ninja. Just being honest.
Thank you, Dre. Beetle, let's go to you before we start doxing people.
GM. So I guess this is more feedback, because you guys know I've been trying to get more people to buy this Zang's Genesis. Pretty successful so far. I'm forging over 20 pairs, and those are not for myself. But there's definitely some feedback from these people. So first of all is that when I was sharing information about the Zangs with them, I have to share like 10, 20 Twitter links, right? Because not all the information is consolidated on the website. So the common questions that they ask me is, so what exactly are the size chart? Because you can't see the size. There's a size chart that only if you are going to Forge then you can see it, but it's not on the Dunk's FAQ website. What exactly is the innovation that is being featured here with Dunks, like the whole modular component of it? Like they want to see this information like in one stop in the Dunks FAQ, and these are not there. So I appreciate the part like Kes creating the video and all this, because people learn in different way, not just reading FAQs. They learn in video, they learn visually from Twitter. But I feel that just this information can be consolidated together on the website. So that's just one feedback. Then secondly is the website itself. It's like it's a lot. Like for people who have not been in the artifact ecosystem, it's like, what is redemption? What is forging? There's so many things, right? So I definitely think that the Dunk's FAQ website could be a bit more visual as well. Like, so just one anecdote is like, I was visiting to collect some merch, and this guy has 3 clones, so he could buy 6 Dunk's colorways, the CloneX colorways, and he wants to buy them, but he didn't know that he could buy them. He thought that he have to have both Dunk's NFT and clones to be able to buy. I was like, no. I had to explain it to him because he don't follow Twitter that much, right? And there's not information on the Dunk's FAQ website as well. So definitely, this is something that I thought can be shared back with the team in terms of, it's great to have all these types of different information everywhere, but there could be also one place that the main website having all of this.
Yeah, appreciate that, Vito. I think you'll get to see some of that when we update our Dunks microsite leading up to ComplexCon, just because obviously our mindset is, before we were talking about how people are, going to be onboarded to Artifact in some type of way by purchasing a credit card. So if they don't care about NFTs or crypto, that's cool. If they just want some dope kicks. So we're updating our site to reflect the type of things that they would want to see, and frankly, what you guys would want to see too. I think based on some of the constraints of the current website, timing, trying to make sure we got an FAQ out, knowing how our audience is, and knowing that it would still be tough to onboard new folks into forging, but also knowing we had that opportunity with the credit card sale. Definitely something we were conscious of and aware of, but nonetheless, we can do better in the future in terms of how we future stuff on our website. But I think you'll see a lot of what you're talking about on the microsite, which is really more geared towards an audience who wouldn't even care about NFTs or evolution or any of that stuff. So I think you'll see it in the coming weeks. And if on our next town hall, we should definitely revisit this combo to see what you guys like, what you want to see more of in advance of our typical forging events, right? Not just when we're trying to do something that's more based to people who don't know anything about Artifact.
Yeah, so on that, I think the microsite is really well done. Love the whole vibes. Just that I think what reflects my take on that, and also I believe other holders also, is they wish that they could see more of this before the Forge window ends, right? So that's some thought also. Personally, I'm not too bothered because I'm going to mint more and the supply will be smaller. But yeah, there are definitely others who would want to see more before they decide on their Forge. And I think that includes holders as well.
It totally makes sense.
Let's go Dre, and then we're going to go Rise Kane.
I got a question for Zach. See, it works both ways too now.
It works. Zach Cass, 1 syllables. That works. Dre too.
It's all good. We can flip that in there one day.
Not compound though. He's got the 2 syllables.
We gotta shorten it up. I got a question for comp, but no. We saw 2 forges that were extended in the past. Will we see a third with the Dunks?
Try to think how to best answer it. Right now, there's not an extension plan, right? So nothing to bank on there. But there have been talks internally to see if something can be done. There's no promises just based on the time leading up to Complex Con, the other stuff that the teams are working on. But there have been conversations. So that's not meant for anybody to speculate on, because the forging event does end on Monday and there are no plans to do an extension or a separate one. But we have been revisiting the conversation just to see what's possible from a dev standpoint and also from our focus standpoint. But yeah, right now there's no plans. Forging ends Monday, 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. Eastern. I think the daylight savings time is throwing that off, because right now if you went on the site, it would say 2 p.m. Eastern, but it might be 1 p.m. based on daylight savings time. But yeah, I would forge, because there's really no guarantee that there's going to be another forging window anytime soon.
Now, that's a question that I asked for the homies who's going to come through Bad Take later on and throw that idea up so I can Pima Lajuan swat that joint back to the rafters. Another question that I have real quick is, so I have a dunk that is equipped with a human vial. And when I went to go and forge that dunk, it didn't pop up as a forgeable dunk for the OGs. Is this something that has happened with other people with their equipped vials, or has there been any conversations about that, or is it a human error on my side and I'm up here sounding ridiculous in front of everyone right now?
No, we tested for that use case, Jay. So hit me up offline, and if anybody else is having that issue, let me know, because we'll look into it. It shouldn't be an issue.
Okay, cool. I appreciate the feedback. You guys are doing a great job. I can't wait. Forge is almost ending. Can't wait to see what we have and crank everything up for Complex Con.
Yes, sir. I was gonna say I forged with my robot vial attached. So, like Zach said, if anybody's having issues, let us know. Kane, what is good? Or sorry, I almost skipped over Rise. My bad. Rise, what's going on?
Oh, good, man. Thank you. Good morning from Australia, fellas. Thanks for chatting. I just wanted to two things very quick, because I know Kane's got his soggy hand raised forever. I was listening to Artifacts News. Shout out to him in the audience. His videos are awesome. And he pointed out something that was really, really cool. He said that the dunk rollout was really step by step. We got a teaser and then the modular heel and then the next day, and it was just that slow excitement build that really did it for me. It felt like 2021 again. Felt like everything was back. And I think when a lot of information drops at one time, then people will just rush through it and then go oh, what's next? When. But the build up to this drop has been absolutely amazing, and I think it's got absolutely everyone hyped, FOMOing, and everything. So just wanted to say that was awesome, and I really appreciate that. The second thing I was going to ask is the skin vial equipping going to be coming back online pre or post forge?
Is skin vial equipping coming back online pre or post forge? You'll be able to get more info on. Sorry, my son's in the background. Once forging's over, we're gonna release all the info related to evolution. So stay tuned. But yeah, Cass, I'm gonna have to drop. Daddy problems. Love you guys. Thanks for having me up. I'll do this more. Thanks, Cass, for letting me co-host.
No, I appreciate you as always. Go do the dad duties. Enjoy the weekend. Tell Matthew. I'm supposed to be. I can't be doxing people's children.
Dude. I mean, I go by Zach. I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, I just the last thing I want to do is accidentally dox someone's child.
It's all good. Have a good weekend. I'll try and jump on Dad Take later too. Later, guys.
Hey. But shout out to what Zach had just said, Rise, because one of the things to your question, it's a really good point with like the skin vial stuff. It's definitely its own set of information, and so it's going to be a lot easier for people to digest once everything is done with this current forging event, so there's not confusion across those two separate things. But let's throw it to Kane. What is good? Once again, shout out to you for all the content and videos you've been putting out. Like, just absolutely crushing. And you know social media well and understand just what people are probably looking for in terms of short form content.
My question was for Zach, but you can answer. What does Master of Projects mean for Artifact?
Damn, I wish he could have answered this one because it would have been funny to hear him answer it. But he's basically like our head of project management, works with a lot of the like all the teams essentially, and all the other project managers, the founders, and he really helps keep a lot of things organized across what we do. And I gotta give him huge props because I think he did a lot to help like streamline and kind of bring more order to what was going on internally, because there's just a lot going on, as you guys have all seen. Like, it's Artifact has been moving at nonstop, like 100-mile-per-hour pace since they started in 2019, and it doesn't really, that energy and mindset doesn't change. Everybody's the same, so it's it's gonna keep going. But yeah, he's a great one. He's an asset, great person to have.
If you ever seen The Matrix, he is the keymaster.
Nah, he gave this he gave the analogy of the hand in like Game of Thrones, but not like Tyrion Lannister. Good like Tyrion Lannister, not like Tyrion. Shout out to Peter Dinklage. He's a great dude. You know what? Nothing wrong with him. Anything. That guy's just dope.
You know what? He gave me that same analogy too when I spoke to him. That's funny. So he broke
Yeah,
it down.
I got a funny Peter Dinklage story. It's going to take me 10 seconds to tell it. Can I tell it real quick?
Go for it.
Me and my wife went to hot yoga last Saturday. I don't know if you guys ever did hot yoga, but it's yoga in like a really hot
is he rugging
room.
or am I rugging?
It's you, Kaz.
You guys hear
He's
me?
talking about hot yoga, about being hot and sweaty with his wife in the yoga room. Go
That's
ahead,
exactly what I'm talking about.
I just came from hot
walks,
yoga. I love it. Go ahead.
Oh, nice. In walks Peter Dinklage, plops his mat right down next to me. I do hot yoga with him for like a full hour, like 3 feet apart. That's my story.
That's so dope. I wish this could have happened before, so that way you could have been like, "Oh, we were just talking about how dope you were." But damn, next time tell him I said what's up and that he's a dope dude, great actor, inspiration.
Will do.
Ninja, what about your hot yoga story? Since you just came from hot yoga.
Oh no, you know me. I'm ramping up the old white man in me to start drilling you with some questions. Hold on one second. I was taking notes because I actually did. I had some questions and they probably were already answered at some certain point, but I think for anyone who's maybe new in the room, will the complex people who are getting the void colorway, will they be getting a digital version of their shoe as well?
Yeah, so for anybody who isn't aware, this is going to be the first time that Artifact has done a digital claim from the physical item. So once you get your dunks in June, you'll be able to basically claim the digital version from the shoe. So it'll be very cool to see, because I think some people were talking about it on Bad Take, where they're like, I want my AR hoodie to be authenticated and I want it to be legit. So I want to make sure I get the NFT with it right away and all that stuff. And it can be very interesting to see how people in this coming year basically will be, this time next year, they'll be trying to find like dunks that have the NFT still available to claim or things like that. So so stay tuned for that process.
No, I appreciate you answering it. Dope. That's great, because I am sending some people in LA up there. Well, actually, I'm sending the Artifact booth. They're already going, but they are excited. They will be forging, and that was a question that they had. And I was like, that's a really good question. All right, second question. And maybe it was talked about before. It's more of a Sean question, but but maybe you can answer it. In addition to the suggestion of USDC or other stable coins to buy it instead of ETH, is there going to be, or are you considering, or whatever can you say for future forges for a credit card option for those who may not want to use cryptocurrency to pay for their forges?
Yeah, we mentioned this a few times. There's definitely more options coming in the future, and we want to make sure that these processes become easier and more seamless. As we've all seen, it becomes this thing where people respect artifacts because there is just a quality that you see with the physicals that gets put out there, and it's kind of what Zach was saying, where it's getting to the point where it's like, all right, let's see what it's like just presenting these as physicals more so than, hey, let's present ourselves as this like digital frontier people that you gotta go through these complicated hoops to secure things, because as we've all seen, like there's areas that need to be improved upon to make that easier. But I think it's going to be cool. ComplexCon is going to be that first big splash for us when it comes to putting out just easier payment systems for people. But
Perfect. No, thank you. Hold on, I got a little list here. I'm in my producer, old white man mode. And I was in the flurry of production during this time, so I'm sure it was probably answered or maybe not. But I just was like, it's been a lingering question. Did we ever get an update? Again, this is far out. Did we ever get an update on what was happening with pods, or is that just kind of on pause right now?
So I think there'll be just more discussions in the future. Stay tuned. You get me into dangerous territories, but yeah.
No, I was just curious because I was in a flurry of production. I just had kind of checked out from a lot of things that were just I just didn't have time for. But no, I was just curious. I'm chilling. And then I know this one is a toughie, but it's something I recently just been thinking about is, and you probably can't answer, but maybe you can. What is the perspective on that? You have an ability to essentially forge. Hold on, I got to do the math. Give me 1 second. Oh shoot, hold on. Oh Lord, don't let me crash. 20,000 times 5. Oh, okay, yeah. So you
Lord,
have the
don't let him
ability.
crash.
Yeah, thank you, Lord Jesus. So you have the ability to forge essentially 100,000 pairs of shoes with the 5 per. Well, shoot, actually more. My math is 100,000. We'll just say with the Dunk NFT alone. What is the perspective of that only a small fraction of those are being, like, we know obviously the marketing's not there, it's all grassroots, at least from my knowledge. Like, what is the perspective as far as, like, not like, oh, are you gonna get those numbers up? This is not a alpha, this is not a like pump my bags type of question. I'm just curious about the seeming oversupply of things currently. I know they probably won't be that in the future compared to like other drops that have been done, which get scooped up a lot quicker. And if you can't answer that, it's totally fine. You're probably not the right person, but it's just something I've been thinking about from a business perspective.
Nah, I think this is actually a very good time to talk about this, because I've talked about this with people before, but I think it's been more on like a one-on-one basis. But the way people are looking at these numbers, I think, is probably not the way to look at it, because a lot of people see it as like a NFT token allotment. Like, hey, we have this mint coming up, and we have 180,000 potential tokens that could be minted. And whereas this is just the access that is made available, and we usually have the conversations more around like, how is it going to impact like what people are choosing and what they're going to do? Like, is it something that they're going to like enjoy and take part of because of this mechanic? Because I think, we saw with season one where the whole one to rock, one to stock was the concept, and then improving upon that, coming into the dunks, it's now you have access across three colorways with the ability still to do one to rock, one to stock. Because, once again, fashion, subjective. We know people aren't going to always choose something because of quote unquote rarity or some exclusiveness. Sometimes it's purely just like, okay, I'm going to spend my money on this, and that's what I want. But yeah, so I think, I'm not going to comment too much on like targets and stuff like that, but I think the team definitely has an understanding and is not like looking at these numbers when they put them out like, let's get all 30,000, clone and dunk Genesis holders across the ecosystem to max min everything and send it to the moon. Like, because let's be real, if we did have everything max mint, I think it would be super awesome. One, from the perspective like, then you're talking about a number run that like it's almost more in line with like what a public like drop looks like. If you're getting the 100,000 kind of realm, like starting to get up there into relatively like average terms sneakers wise. But when you're in the territory where we're at, where it's like even if even if every unrevealed monolith like max minute, I still feel like we wouldn't be getting to or not unrevealed. If every revealed like dunk max minute, it still wouldn't be at like 100,000 exactly. So there's it's just a different way to look at it. It's more pre-order, made to order. It's seeing who's engaging, how many people are engaging. That's the more important metric, more so than like let's get 100,000 pairs of shoes sold. But yeah, glad you brought that one up.
No, thank you so much. I appreciate it. That's a great perspective. I was just curious how you were looking at it. That's how I was thinking about it, but thank you. Appreciate it.
Word. So we're gonna keep it going. I wanna gonna throw it to, I think Shadow had his hand up first, then we'll go to Beetle. Do it big. Chicago just jumped in, who's dope. I like some of his perspective and love to throw it to him in a second. Damn, we also got Day After just lurking in the cut. So let's go to Shadow. Let's go to you first, and then we'll keep it moving.
All right, cool. Just quick questions because I'm assuming on a lot of this, but I just want to make sure it's correct. So, we're getting the NFTs for the Void and for the CloneX. Now, for the OGs, right? Let's say someone like myself, like, if I got, six OGs, but now only have two, Dunk Genesis NFTs, right? When all those shoes come in, you're not getting an airdrop for those other shoes, but you will have the ability to buy NFT and link it. Or are those shoes that I do not have the NFTs for, are those just shit out of luck because you can't link it to the original NFT anymore?
So yeah, I think you actually bring up a pretty good question because it's not based off of like when the linking aspect of any of like the Air Forces, the clothes, the same with the dunks. You can have a token ID number 3, and you can link that to your unique dunk, which is number 4. So you don't have, if you're, let's say, like we're a person who bought a Dunk Genesis pass, you then redeemed, sold your pass. Now you're getting your physical, and you want to authenticate it and have the NFT attached. You can just go back and buy another one on secondary and then attach it. So I hope that
Okay.
answers your question.
Yeah. No, that definitely answers the question. And then a real quick last one, still on the same topic though. With the Void and Clone X, the colorways, once the shoes come in, which won't be until June, so that means those NFTs won't be coming until that time as well. If this is alpha, you can just say wait and see, but will those NFTs function as the same as the Dunk Genesis NFT, meaning will evolutions and things of that nature that y'all have in store be available to those NFTs, or will those NFTs just kind of more or less be like a like a hey, you forged it, kind of like with the AF1, like hey, good job, you forged it type of deal?
Let's go to the hands. Beetle, what's good?
Yeah. Hey. Let's go to my questions, right? Yeah. I think what Ninja brought up was good. And I have to say that if you guys limited the forge in terms of, like, let's say the Dunks Genesis, I can only forge one of each colorway. I think either of two scenarios. One, I'll be quite pissed that I have to buy more NFTs to do the number of forges that I'm doing. Or secondly, I might not be able to afford to offer so many extra forges to my friends or try to get people in on the forge. So I think in terms of that direction of having like the access pass and letting each NFT mint the number they want instead of looking at the total number, I think that's a good approach. So back to my question. So because we know that the forging window for the current Dunks is will end on Monday. So but we can buy more during public sale, right? So I just want to ask the question is, will I be able to get more people on board? Like perhaps if they can't visit ComplexCon, can they buy it online, the Void colorway, in November? And also, if they can, would there be a limit to how many they can buy?
Yeah, so I don't want to give any of that info away yet because there's some sneakerheads in here. They know how to get the box cooking and prepared before anybody is even thinking about it. So
Man, I
it's
can
just
help
like
you. I
NFT
can help
mints.
you out with how to beat the Nike part when you guys need
See,
that.
here we go. Here we go.
You got a legend in here.
What's up, John? What's
Chill.
up, Johnny? How you doing, brother?
Hey, but
All
that's
right.
what.
So
Go ahead.
will my friends be able to get this Dunks even if they're not visiting the ComplexCon?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So, okay. So I'm going to jump in on that one. So here's my question for you guys. Cass might have the answer. Johnny said he might. This is the question of the day. So, like the Air Force Ones, I mean, am I correct? Like, for example, there was up to 4,400 pairs of Murakami, but 3,800, 3,900, something like that forged. And then they still made the 4,400 out of the slash, right? So, like, Johnny's pair comes from that pull because you can't go past that, and there's no promo tag samples from Nike. So, like, am I right that like the amount that they max made was what they actually produced, like for the Air Forces?
Yeah, I was gonna comment on your thread, but there's so many people. I didn't want it to be like this whole back and forth thing, so I was gonna DM you. But
Web 3, we talk out front, bro. Fuck this
yeah,
DM shit.
no, it's all good. I mean, because some people answered it as well in that thread where you
wrong.
might have been reading the total supply. Everything that's printed, you can see it even in the shoe. Like you just lift up the sock liner, and they have the number in there. Everything was based off of the forged amount. So everybody who came through and actually did the forging event, and that was what the supply was capped at. There is definitely a small amount, and when I say small, like it is a very small amount for like defects and replacements, and that's where some of the people that have been seeded, like that is where those numbers come from. So it's yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna go to Johnny on this one because we go back fucking a decade on like this. They can't just produce extra numbers on top of that. You can go promo sample tags, but there's no defective before a production run's done, and we all know where those go out to. So like, I'm okay with like saying that we produce 50 friends and family pairs of every size, and like that kind of stuff. But I'm just was curious where those allotments, like Air Force Mold has been here for 35 fucking years. This is easy. Like they're just skinning it. This is all just the same as custom or the millions of beautiful shoes that Johnny fucking comes up with over time. Like that's all the same thing. All you need is the mold, and then past that, it's just the color of the base, unless you want to paint it and blah blah blah. So like all I'm getting at is like I'm fine with that on a shoe that goes that many in the Air Forces. Like call it what it is, but like we don't have to justify to the rest of the world that Air Forces are a hot shoe. So like that part makes sense. But on a Dunk, what's the plan on production? If right now it's at 3,500 on the Genesis, is that going to be offered? Like 10% overrun for friends and family influencers, a bunch of people on YouTube, and the size 16, 18 that'll go on the brand pack for the athletes. Like I'm good with those. Like we need those. Like this doesn't work if they don't make LeBron a 16. Like that stuff doesn't change. And fuck LeBron, but still. But like, that's the whole thing. Like I think you can get to like the back of this one, but the key of this launch to work, period, is number one at ComplexCon, people who aren't in Web3 have to like this. Like, that's the number one thing that matters for this whole mold, or it's going to get scrapped like a HyperAdapt. Personally, I think sneaker people are okay with this. Like, I mean, for what it's worth, get out of Web3. Web2 friends who hate NFTs are hitting me up about this. So like, this one makes sense to me. And ComplexCon plus a public release will put what, 50 to 100,000 pairs of a color that becomes the poor man's color of the new Genesis Dunks at that point, which makes anybody with the money want to go backwards retroactively. But we'll have 6 to 10 colorways that'll all ship in June, which means nobody's beat their pair up, nobody's done anything like that. So like, the amount of Genesis pairs, or at least the claim of where they're capping it, is probably the most important part of anything in a Web3 shoe release. Like, it's just a structure. So like, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, we're going to be like 4,000 pairs of the OG minted, maybe 5, because there's a couple people I know that plan to take a couple hundred pairs tonight. But if they're going to run that, like, I'll run 300 pairs of these things on the OGs right now, sweep the board. I don't give a fuck. Like, the OGs work. It's a $400 all-in shoe. Like, you know, you can't miss. I'm not sitting here saying this, but it's the safest Web3 investment anybody's made in this fucking stupid space in a year.
Yo, I've been telling Drake this entire time. They don't fade these dunks.
Dude, listen, the big dogs are out there. Everybody notices. All the size 12s, they all went to fucking Big Boy Cheng. We know where they went. So every first sale off the board is sitting in fucking Asia right now. And if not, there's 3 or 4 people that are as runners getting them there. So like, everybody's just got to understand, like, this is new to everybody here, but this isn't new to everybody.
Yo, Do It Big just came in with the bars. That's why I was excited when I saw your request, because like Johnny
I promise
said,
you, I'm putting a pair of these on the internet before Artifact puts them. Like, I ain't waiting until June to fucking make sure somebody in a WeChat backdoors me a fucking pair. These aren't even in the good factory.
No, I got a question though. Where did you get the 6 colorways from that's coming in the summer?
All I'm saying is this: we have a guaranteed 3. We have a vial launch. Vial is going to be a TBD. There's multiples. Like, you have to understand. So the one thing they did say is that your dunk, I heard somebody say it before, but your dunk, if I'm not wrong from what they said, is once you mint this shoe, your dunk isn't dead. It's dead when it connects a vial to it. Like, it can't, as of now, you can't pull the vial off it. So if the next mint on vials becomes the combination of 2 to mint a more rare pair that the cost is the same at $222, but the vial's different, that becomes the thing. So I used 10 Genesis Dunks. I still have them. They seem worthless to buy shoes today, but my red vials, or whatever the fuck, all demon vials or this or whatever, I should be able to adapt when I make the next tweak next week. And then I got basically the NFT to order the red pair, right? But once it's switched, you can't switch it back.
But what if that red pair vial equipment, and it's just speculative thought, right? A speculative question I have for you.
Right,
what if that's what if that's
I'm
for
going to call this: if they don't make the vials and just flip colorways, something Johnny can do in one night, I'm sure Nike can do in 3 hours. This runs. The materials are there. It's one factory. You go in, you pick a fucking number, you pick a color palette, and like, this is like, you know, I mean, these are same day type shit once the mold's there. So like, so the colorways, you would think that the rare, like, we have 13 Air Force Ones or whatever the fuck there was. You would think there's going to be more than 3 or 4 before June when they first start shipping, which isn't like bad, but that just puts a whole collection together out to the public in June, right?
You going on this whole speculative thought process, which I understand and I respect.
Well, I'm reading 5. It says vial. It says the vial mint is next. So that's
no. I hear what you're saying, but what I'm saying is what we have as definite information is that it's 3 colorways, and that's what it is.
How many vials are there? They already have a vial mint.
Yeah, let me go ahead and just clear some things up real quick. The vial forging event that's coming is going to be for like the physical kind of collectible aspect of the skin vials. So it's not, we've already kind of hinted at what it's going to be. It's not going to be like a new like digital vial releasing to like, you know, a new skin of the colorway. Right now what the main focus is on is the current 3 colorways. And I think the 2 big things I want to just note off what you said, because you did have a lot of dope things that you said, but just 2 things. One,
the shoes, if you want to hear the background story on how they're like going through and building the materials and selecting a lot of that stuff, I just pinned a Spaces to the top, and definitely not the normal just like slap some colorways together. But then the second part,
they're going into the pool of unused materials. That's all. They've all been sitting
yeah.
there, and they've been waiting for the right time to launch it. That all black's been sitting there for 9 months.
Well, the only thing I was gonna just add on is with the supply, at least, you were speculating on where some of those numbers might be. I can definitely tell you it's way, 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 way under. Those overages are like very, very small, and it's not always because of like defects. We just know that there's like shipping and logistic issues, and sometimes people's packages gets lost. And
the factory's
yeah.
going to operate from midnight to 8 a.m. whether you guys try to stop it or not. That's just way sneakers work. UA came out for a reason. It's not because they're fake.
Well, I think it'll be very interesting, man, because this is the whole point of Artifact and how we operate with even with the chips. Like I've seen how the back end process and how people have to work with the RFID chips that we have, the world merging chips. So having fake runs off the lot would be interesting.
You might be right when you said that out loud, but then I guess that would say that Johnny's pair should have. I mean, on chain we should have 41 plus pairs of that shoe, or 59 plus pairs if that came from a defect, right? Like on chain, wouldn't he have an extra RFID because it's not a burn and replace? Like if that's an extra pair, or you guys have a very limited amount, then wouldn't like if I pulled the database of RFIDs, it should say more than 59?
Yeah, we actually have to double. I'd have to double check on that one just to see because I would have to just know exactly which where these shoes, which pool these shoes came from, which I don't always.
Well, I'm saying if there was a shoe that there was only 59 of, is there only 59, or are there 60 plus chipped shoes that read on chain?
Oh yeah, no, the ones that have that are listed on in the total supply, those are the ones that are listed on chain. There are definitely sample pairs out there that don't have chips in them and things like that.
Okay, so the only difference between Johnny's pair is that it's no RFID instead of an XXX tag, right? Like that's the new version of Nike making a promo sample.
Like I said, I don't want to put myself into hot waters with somebody after explaining something wrong, but I think we're on
you don't have to. The whole
yeah.
sneaker world figured this out before Web3 people even talked about it. Love Johnny fucking way before fucking Web3 shit. So had much respect there. So I get it. We don't. Nike is what it is, dude. I mean, if we want to get Nike and fucking get them on stuff, when this is going to be a real problem is when they give fucking Jordan's kid a fucking Genesis dunk, and we got to deal with that. The trophy room dunks are going to be fucking interesting.
Well, let's throw it to Prez. I see he's got his hand up. We also got some people trying to jump in, and I pass over day after in concierge as well. So let's keep it rolling.
So as far as we know, though, just so I can just end it on that one, we're going to assume that whatever's forged basically is the number, give or take a small fluctuation for whatever people need to do for influence. Because if that's the case, then it's good to see that you're at an open edition until a time clock on anything they do. It doesn't really matter past that. And if the dunk has a spot where it can be reused again, then I can totally understand the meaning of the word Genesis while you reskin and mint different things over the next 1 to 10 years. That's all I needed. I'll raise the number by a couple hundred before we're done.
We thank you for your service, sir. President, let's keep it going. What's good?
Maybe clarify I know you have to kind of withhold maybe what you clarify on the topic of the vials before the whole thing's gone live, but I figure I'd step in and maybe fill in some of the blanks. It's kind of semi-official. Most of the mods or the team in the Discord's kind of confirmed it, but the upcoming Vial Forge isn't for 8 new dunk colorways by any means. It's just a forge for these little mini vial collectibles that you can kind of accessorize your physical dunks with. So I would not be holding out hope for 8 additional vial colorways to be coming in the immediate term, but I wouldn't rule out a Dunk Forge 2 in like a couple of years that might provide vial holders a chance to mint those actual DNA inspired colorways, like an eight DNA collection. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sure
that's
we'll
what,
get
like. What's
that.
the point? What's the point of the vial that I've just held and never used? Is kind of my question. Like I've
Well,
had
it has like
vials ever since.
it serves a digital utility, right? You got to remember the Dunk isn't like a voucher for just a physical sneaker. It's like the first Nike digital collectible metaverse sneaker. It's a clone wearable. It has an entire like digital identity to it. So
So
the vials serve the digital side, right? So the vials feed into the Dunk ecosystem with the whole evolutions meta. But then the physical forge is like a separate thing, right? So the physical forge is like a bonus feature for people who are into collecting these Dunk digital collectibles and vials, right? So like for people who are enthusiasts of this, we're also offering you guys 3 colorways to choose from for this particular forge. I'm just saying maybe in a couple of years they'll do eight vials.
Guys, dude, honestly, that makes a ton of sense. It just means that maybe the vials are overpriced comparatively to the Dunks today in the market. Like it just didn't make sense to
Um,
see them at that level when they don't have a tweaked utility. Because if all I'm getting is a fucking anklet for it for 1.18, I'm selling it and buying 11 more pairs of shoes.
there's definitely people who are like expressing maybe being a little underwhelmed with the vial forge offering. But I just think it's because just right now we're in the middle of the forge and it's greatly overshadowing the digital side of the Dunk that we haven't even begun to explore yet. Hopefully that comes in this next vial update that's coming in November. We'll probably learn more. They're going to show, probably get this whole evolution thing off and running. So maybe by then people will actually appreciate the vial and the whole system for the digital
Like so
side of the
pretty much
collectability.
the play is playing it based on what Nike always does. You put out the test run, you put the feeler, and if the market adapts to it by June, we'll see another launch by next Christmas. Like vials make sense. That you can do anything you want with an NFT. You can turn it to a colorway, you can turn it to a vial, you can make it a claim. But I do think that like
What
your
I
underwhelmed
what I
comment would be like kind of
what I
like saying that,
think
but it
they're
makes
gonna
sense.
do, what I think they're gonna do is, the Dunks NFT itself doesn't burn when you forge them, right? You're just kind of claiming your allocation in the Dunk Forge 2023, right? But that same Dunk will probably, I'm gonna guess, this is speculation, but if they do a second Dunk Forge in a couple of years, that same Dunk voucher or same Dunk NFT is gonna serve as yet another series of allocations for that upcoming forge.
Demon
And
Vial is the demon colorway potential for a forge whenever they decide. I just assumed it would be soon versus we're going to stick with
unfortunately,
3
not.
colors. I don't think it's unfortunate. I think it's better to stick with 3. It's going to make the Genesis
I
pop,
do
and
I
it's
do
going to.
too. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool, and we get to potentially play with like the modular aspects to maybe deliver some
The
of that
most
DNA
important part
based.
is the most important part is resale. The kid's got to say the word cook, and you got to see somebody make 20 grand, and somebody on here has to get pissed off about it. Like that's the only way a shoe takes off. So like I'm with you. Making 4,000, 5,000 pairs are cool. You're going to see a big push in the end if that's the case. But everybody's been waiting on that number because if you're cutting the gray pair, which is the cleanest pair at whatever this is forged at, that's either going to be a grail or these are going to be hyper adapt 3.0. It just doesn't. I mean, it's one
I
of the two, and the
also
market will determine.
what I also just want to provide. I'll leave you guys just with this now. It seems like the shoe is geared to be a bit of like a creator's shoe, right? It's like the whole modular aspect seems to feed into providing, especially the 3D printing guys. It's kind of canvas to maybe 3D print custom shoe upgrades too, right? In that regard, right, with the customizer approach to it, I could see people quickly exhausting the OGs. As you paint it or mod it or cut it up and do whatever with it, you're going to quickly deplete your blank canvas one after another. So I encourage everybody to
Johnny,
mint
the
as many
reason
of those
Jordan 1 mids
OGs.
cost so much.
There you have.
But that's it. I mean, that's all. Like this is. I mean, it's almost like it should be flattering to Johnny on there and anybody else that's done customs for 10 years that they're building a spot to allow that's deeper than Nike ID. Like I'm being honest. Like as somebody who has hyper adapts, has the adapts, has mags, has everything. This is the first one that has potential to run like that. But it's always been 50-50 whether Nike plays it right. And if they play that part correct, which it sounds like they've pivoted and do, I'm a big fan of the shoe, even if I don't own a CloneX anymore.
Yeah, I was saying I always love the idea of the acronym Blazers and the lows. I just hate that silhouette, right? But it's like the thought process behind it, and then putting it on the most iconic shoe on a dunk, right? And then having like even the lineage of SB and stuff like that, and the storytelling of like everything like that. And then what we could do is reconstructing and then adding like modular pieces to it. It's like, I mean, the possibilities for these shoes are like endless, right? It's
What
like,
was the sole that was a Red October? You know it. I can't remember what the shoe was. What's the shoe that got like bought up crazy because everybody wanted to recon Red Octobers? Or
it's like the air. It was like the Air Trainers, or like
It was
like whatever that shoe was.
Andre Agassi's.
Yeah, fair enough. There have been multiple shoes that people, who do customs started to buy up for those reasons. We could use the remade as one, even though I don't like to use it as a reference for somebody who does good customs.
No, but you're absolutely right, because like I've tried. I mean, that's one of the silhouettes that we've been trying to remake for a really long time was the Easy 2, and we're finally molded the back piece of it after all these time, and finally getting the samples ready to be able to actually produce that silhouette. But I don't know really where I was going with that, but
I mean, look, dude, you should be
the
the
base
happiest
shoes, the
person
base
if
shoes
the
are
way
almost
this thing
impossible to
goes.
get. Right, like what you said, like the base shoes are almost impossible to find for that shoe because of that specific reason. People like bought them up, and it was like extremely like limited allocation to be able to get those shoes, and so you're very limited on what you can actually do as far as like,
same way you guys made a run up on Jordan 1 mids. Like when mid soles matter or when low end soles, the price of it was driving. Air Force Ones weren't 180 last summer because nobody was painting them.
Man, it's starting to get to those sneaker soapbox vibes, Dre.
This
I don't
is
know what
this is
happened.
whatever this is the sneaker shit is what people need in this space. Otherwise, it's going to be the same 8,000 people circle jerking.
I was
So, like,
saying
that's
the
what it
same
needs.
thing forever, man. That's what I've been telling.
I mean, just over the last 4 or 5 months,
I
just
need
being part of this
I need
space.
the 16 to 26-year-old kids that call me dad out there to say, should I cook these? Like, that's what I need. Because, like, when that happens, you guys win.
You know what? What we're waiting on is the barrier to entry. And the barrier to entry is utilizing crypto to make the purchase. And since it gets so lost and convoluted in trying to make that transition, that's what's stopping the 16 to 20-year-olds to come here and do that.
No,
but once that's out the way,
Nike put the blocker.
I mean,
I'm not
trying to.
Credit cards are going to go this week, which means that they're taking the wall down.
Well, I'm not pointing finger, just saying that's what the issue is. And once that's out of the way, it will be a whole new day. And once these kids see their favorite influencer walking down the tunnel wearing it or twerking for a Birkin with them on, then they're going to go after them as well.
And that goes exactly on how many pairs do you make for the friends and family runs that we're all used to for 20 years of Nike. Like, that's as simple as it is. Like, when you know which ones they come from, it's just where do those go? Like, if they said we're going to make 500 additional pairs of everything and they were going to get given for free to famous people, bro, that's a marketing strategy everybody should be happy about, even though some people here would complain that they got them for free.
Well, yeah, and there's still some people would complain about the numbers being convoluted as well because it's all attached to the blockchain and they want it to be as authentic and laid up as possible. But the personal pairs
they
that
cash out that day for US dollar because of the accountant.
But the personal pairs that the founders create and can give out themselves that actually still go on the blockchain, that's where the whole situation is tied in, and that's where people are happy because everything is
just
accurate.
Getting physical pairs, just because all my friends now, I'm getting these physical pairs in hand. They're like literally trying to hunt down pairs. I'm still looking for a size 8 in the Genesis pair.
Johnny's the reason the sneaker people. Johnny's part of the reason a lot of sneaker people are fucking getting on the fucking map on this one, because those aren't people who give a shit about NFTs, but they gave a shit about beautiful fucking sneakers for a while.
Awareness is key.
Well, I mean, this whole time they've just been telling me JPEGs.
Wait till Big Boy Chang posts his fucking set when the rest of them get to fucking Asia. Like, that's a fucking turning point for that shoe. Like, people don't realize it, but that's a turning point.
That's what I'm saying. Awareness is key. Awareness brings the hype.
Agreed.
Hype brings the FOMO. FOMO brings more hype, and then the cycle starts. That's what I've been saying for the last year.
200%. But I was just getting at awareness as part of it. Accessibility and then transparency are the 3 parts of it. As somebody who's sitting on 2,000 pairs of fucking trophy rooms and I ain't afraid to fucking say it, like, cool, bro. Transparency's fucking key. Don't gamble all your money away when you backdoor shit.
You got a size 14, hit me up.
Got him.
Tax him. What? Let's throw to let's throw it to Concierge real quick, because we don't usually have him in here, and I want to be respectful. So, Concierge, what's going on?
What's up, man? Thanks. This is a good discussion. I actually was going to put my hand down because I like what you guys are saying to listen in. It's been a while since I've been on a space with you guys. So I know they don't light up, but any chance, Artifact obviously puts out all these tweets that are emojis, and they have a timeline. If you remember, like a year ago, they did all that stuff. So anyone know about when the vials come in? I remember there was a video that they would like press with a remote control and the swoosh symbol would actually change color. I know these don't, although the pictures look like they do, but I think President put in there, they don't change color. Is that something that, I mean, I have the CryptoKicks IRLs, so I have a couple of those. I lit them up. They're pretty cool with the battery. But of course, as you know, since they're battery powered, they can't be sent to the different parts of the country. And there's certain restrictions. So I guess my question is, are they, and maybe people don't know the answer to this, in the future with these vials or some other thing, are they going to make a swoosh that lights up? I think that will be the next coolest thing that would be like, oh, wow, everyone wants those shoes. That's my first question. Second question is, it sounded like someone was buying like 300-400 of these and then probably going to wait a couple years and then some.
You don't need a couple years. It'll be probably like 8 to 12 months. Peak will be next Christmas. Won't
8
matter.
to Okay, so you were going to post on like eBay or stuff and just make like probably 150 per shoe.
No, setting a number is something that people don't do. There is no 150. I'll be reselling these for between $150 and $1,500, depending on what the market dictates. I got hyper adapts if you need them for under retail that they thought were worth 500 retail. Artifact, the last shoes are going to go, and no lights on it. I didn't realize that, but no offense, that's like the greatest thing I've heard about this shoe. Like I mean, to be fair, like the option of lights is way more important than putting a forced light on a shoe.
Yeah, but I don't know if there's gonna be an option light. I'm just predicting what Artifact and Nike are probably planning, right? They always,
if they don't do one, I'll fucking hit Johnny up. We'll go to China and make fucking swooshes before fucking Nike does.
Already doing it.
Thank you. I don't mean this is just like everybody's new to this, but fucking Johnny was on that fucking way before, and I just had to assume. Like this is, I mean, there's light up shit on shoes. I got a pair of fucking black cement 3s sitting right here with fucking red lights inside the insoles that were done by Soul Swap in 2011. Like, wow. I mean, it's got a button on the tag. It cost me $150. You order LEDs from China, you put them into the sole. Like, it's all been done. Nike's just finally taking all the tips that all these creatives gave them and having a home for them, and that's the best part.
Yeah.
Yeah, Concierge, I'm glad you jumped in. And it's always a good recap. So these shoes aren't going to have lights on them. You hit it with the not travel, but shipping restrictions. That was a huge issue, and we definitely understand that. I think what Do It Big and Johnny just were hitting at, though, creators being able to create around the molds that are based on these shoes, it's going to open up a lot of very, very interesting capabilities for people, and I'll be hyped to see what happens. I think we're definitely going to be excited to help just educate people on how best to utilize the files and stuff. But what I was going to say, just because I think it's funny that you asked, like, if they'll ever make a light up shoe or anything. Like, I think it's just look at how these guys operate. Like, I love seeing how Zap and some of the other designers push the concepts that they're trying to do with the shoe. So, if you go back and listen to the spaces that Artifact had a couple of days ago, the material designers from Nike even talked about it. Like, they were holding some of these materials for a bit. They wanted to make sure they go on like crazy opportunities, and they also have to work with the timelines and the budgets that usually come with projects. And Artifact and Zap and them are basically like, yo, let's do this and do it the best way we can possibly do it. And so, yeah, that's why all these shoes are coming out just different. They're coming out at a quality that you usually don't see. So, yeah, I think it's going to be cool to see what comes in the future. I have no idea. I ain't even going to sit here and try to promise you, because I really don't know. But they're not going to just settle. That's the best answer. But let's keep it going. We got people I haven't seen up here before. Lots of hands up. I'm hella caffeinated. Let's throw it to Beetle, and then we'll go to President. And then we're going to go to Grayson, who we haven't seen before.
Thank you. Quick one. Just wanted to ask, and whether you can confirm, because I have friends who have sizes smaller than EU 37.5, and that's the smallest that they run on the size chart and on the Forge. So is there anything you can say about that?
Yeah, I'll have to get back to you. I hate to give you the blanket statement right now if that's all we can do, but I think that might be really what it is, because just like logging in within your artifact account, and there's you should be able to access it with a link. I'll drop it in the comments.
Yeah, so the smallest that I can get now is EU37.5, right?
Yeah, I think that's like the US like 5. I forgot, but yeah, that's the smallest at the moment. So sorry for the small foot people. I hope we can make it work for you. But yeah, President, what is up?
Wait, what's got a size restriction? Because when they don't make small, they don't make big. I was just curious what you just said. I missed it. I'm
Thing
sorry.
is, I think our sizes for the dunks are US 5 to US 16.
16. Oh, you're talking about smaller than that?
Yeah, I think they're wanting smaller than US 5, which
there's a woman. There's what I think breaks down to like the equivalent of a 4.5. But I mean, I saw that. Like if you break the two, I mean, I guess technically you could just argue with it. I guess that's a 5. And I'm just off on chick sizes because Adidas is different.
Wow, so these sizes are bigger than the Crypto Kicks IRLs. I got a 13, I think, on that one, and I have a couple 11.5s. So these go up to 16.
I got 15 on all the Crypto Kicks.
Oh, you did?
Yep.
Okay. So would your obviously non-financial advice, whatever, but would you, if you're buying 300 of them, you're buying like 20 of them?
I'm buying less than fucking 2 of them that are a 15. Because all the athletes are going to get their pairs from there, and if you want to be really honest, the best sizes are going to stick to Asian sizes and teenage sizes.
Okay, so it's better to go small.
8 to 10.5, even though they'll be the most made. Just doesn't matter. I mean, you want to have the one rare sale for a size 5, like 5-6 is probably a gem here, because once girls start to see these, when everybody has them and guys want to lace up their girls, there won't be any pairs on the market.
Interesting.
5 and 6 are probably the gem.
Interesting take. So get more on the extreme. Well, maybe more on the low end. It sounds like. Okay, thanks.
It won't matter if the shoe works. If the shoe works, every one of them becomes good, and if the shoe doesn't, then they're half retail like Hyper Adapts. But with no lights in it, it would be almost impossible for the shoe to fucking miss.
Cool.
My man Chicago hates the lights, bro. We love the lights over here, baby.
I love the lights. I just posted my Jordan fucking BC3s from 2011. I just like the ability to do it how I like to, instead of like a full fucking like neon fucking rainbow swoosh on the side of my shoes. I'm 41 years old, dude. Fuck out of here.
Keeping it real. Let's throw it to.
And Dre knows how bad they look in big sizes.
Damn, don't call them the neon clown shoes. But Grayson, let's go to you, my guy. Then we're gonna throw it to some others. I want to make sure we can get to a lot of people before we close it up. So, Grayson, what's good?
Yo, what is up, guys? There are so many legends in this space. So me personally, I don't own an artifact CloneX. I look up to you guys, especially Dre up in here. Dre, I love the fitness you motivate us all with. So thank you for that, man. My question is regarding the Rimowa worker bots. Do we have any information on that? I noticed they're so cheap. I actually picked one up today. And I noticed they're equipped for future connectivity with the artifact skin vials. So I feel like this is pretty huge alpha considering the upcoming Forge. So my question is, what do we know about these little worker bots?
What I can tell you is they're digital collectibles, obviously, between Artifact and Rimowa. They do have digital avatars for on Cyber, and we've got the 3D files that we'll definitely be making available to people as well. I do want to quell or stop any rumors before it gets crazy, but there isn't going to be any forging stuff with the worker bots in this scenario. So just wanted to at least put that healthy speculation disclaimer out there,
Right on. Thank you, Cass. I appreciate that, man.
No worries. Well, Grayson, I hope you keep coming through. If you already know Dre, you friends with Dre, you friends with me. That's how we do things. So yeah, no, you don't need a clone. Just pull up whenever. But yeah, let's keep it rolling. I want to throw it to Navidran real quick, and then we're gonna go to Day After and Deluxe.
Hey, everybody doing? I got two questions. One, I think I showed up maybe a little bit late. Hopefully, didn't already get answered, but it's actually one of the things that Chicago was talking about, which is I think there was some back and forth, but I couldn't get a definitive answer from the conversation. Does the total forged number on Air Force Ones reflect or include the ones that were given away by the team?
Yeah, so most of those are included in there. I want to just say that because I do need to double check, because we have had things like, sample pairs that were made, and then there are pairs that are in like those overages areas that are like, once again, very small, and it's for just like the defects and other things like that. And so it's, when it comes to what we have on like on chain, I think we're going to make sure it's simplified across all of the channels, that everyone knows that it's just basically going to match what's in the shoe that's printed under the soles. So whenever you log in, connect the NFCs, all that stuff, it's not varying against like total supply or any of the potential questioning supplies out there. But yeah, I mean, and that's why it's dope that we can have these conversations, because I think the sneaker has this will probably be the most like transparent, one of the most transparent like drops out there for limited exclusive kind of shoe. So definitely want to keep pursuing that. One thing I already promised to Kane and some others is working on some of the size charts, so where people know exactly like the full run across like each supply of the sizes. That would be for just like, what's publicly out there. We would obviously have like those sample supplies not really listed in that, but yeah, it's
is there a size run? Like, would there be a size run if they haven't forged and they're not here until June? Like, isn't that like what they're totaling?
Yeah, no, that's what we'll put out there essentially.
Like, in theory could be more 15s than any other size if one person went crazy.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm going to tell you because I've seen it. It's not like that. It's really not like that.
I mean, I understand the math, but math says if I want to buy 3,300 pairs of size 15, I can do it and prove you wrong. So, like, that's all I was trying to say. Yeah. It's like math is just true. That's the best part about it. This isn't the spot. 15, Dre knows, I know, everybody knows 15 is like a 15 and a GR is hard to find. 15 and a QS is fucking damn near impossible. And some of my fucking rarest shoes are the dumbest shoes to everybody else, but nobody's seen a 15. Like my size 15 Red October is cool. That's a flex. But like a size 15 Joker 3, go find another one of those. A Black Cat 3 from the OG run, you won't find them. Like they were weird quick strikes that only hit 2 pairs in Europe.
Those are facts. My man spitting on facts. But I don't think you're going to do the 3,015. Do it big. Go ahead.
I'm not going to do 3,015 of those. I'll take 200-300 pairs of OG Genesis across size runs heavier in 8 through 12. Like that's what I'll do today. Whatever it is, or wait till the buzzer, because there's a couple sneakerheads right now that are contemplating large purchases over the next 48 hours for no reasons other than they like money.
And for the record, that's going to be the last time I ever call you do it big ever again. Just want to put that out there.
I will never buy fucking 3,500 brick pairs that you don't even know enough people size 15 to wear these things all out, and then we're going to have to look stupid for the rest of our lives because I gave you a discount on a bunch of big ass shoes.
Yeah, thanks for coming in here today, bro. Me and Dre have been screaming this from the rooftops for a while, so it's always good to have other OGs in the space to, to give weight to the words.
Yeah, dude, I mean, that's it. But I mean, the biggest thing I'll say to anybody is like, nobody needs to if everybody's going to be transparent, these are the convos that need to happen. Like invite a couple kids out of a fucking random cook group or something right now. Like going to GNFR or something and pick fucking 2 random kids to come up here and talk about something, Like that's the reality, because you'll get more knowledge out of them than anybody you will in this space that doesn't work for the team. Arguably, you know what I mean?
I mean, that's why I'm here. I'm going to learn something from all you peoples. But yeah, thanks for the numbers on that.
Follow more children. Sorry, that sounds creepy, but that's the truth. That's how you get informed in this space.
Yeah, just don't talk to them. Just see what they post. That's fine. The other. Oh,
that sounds even weirder.
Yeah, that was bad.
There's too many parts. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. It's fine. This is recorded, right? Whatever. Anyway, my other question, which we're gonna move on from whatever just happened, is for all the sneaker people, because I'm like a noob to this situation. Is how do you get StockX to put up images of the rest of the Air Force Ones?
You let them get a pair in hand, and then they take a picture of it, and then whoever shoe comes in first, most likely they'll be all size 12 stock files. those will be the shoes that are on there. And if they don't have one, they reach out to select people and ask them to take it, like a trophy room with blue laces.
Similar topic, then there's a StockX, like, there's StockX stores, right? So if I just went to a StockX store and was
They
like,
don't have
hey,
stores. They don't have stores.
Well, they have the drop-off place in New York.
Drop-off.
So they would, oh, okay. So they wouldn't.
They'll take all their pictures in their main. Like when they log in, the first size 12 or the first pair of each shoe that goes in will be the stock photo for that shoe, unless there's like a defect on it, and they'll update it.
Oh, okay. I got
So
you.
someone's pair who sold on StockX is actually the stock photo.
Or you can email them too and send it to them. Because when I put up my
well, what are you going to email them?
The ducks of a feather. Well, email a picture to them. When I put up my ducks of a feather, they had me do that for it. So
what did they do? So if you are, then you're one of the other ones. Like trophy rooms, if you go on there, that's my photo. Like just being dead ass. That's put on a fucking white backdrop like this, everything else. So like they have to have it clean, but they probably did it, and then they removed your photo when they got the first duck through there. They used to pay $20 bounties or some shit for like weird stuff when they were getting in trouble for copyright.
Yeah, I remember that shit.
Nike went at them for saying that they can't use their stock photos, so they had to pull them all.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm distracted messaging in chats, but Navision, you got another question?
No, I'm good. I appreciate it.
Just DM you about me?
No. And also, you can delete the middle of my speech and talking, so you can take
it's
that
there
out.
forever, bro. It's on the blockchain forever, bro.
Those words have been minted and inscribed. We love you. Deluxe, what is good? What is good?
What's up, guys? Big shout out to all the staff holding this town hall, Chicago, for spreading his plethora of knowledge on sneakers and reselling sneakers. Glad to be part of this. Just kind of want to throw a shout out there and just back in Chicago up. It's just, if y'all are here, looking to resell some of these dunks, I mean, just go with what most people have on feet, right? Which is like anywhere between 8.5 and 10.5. There's no need to make, $1,000 on a sneaker and hope that you're going to be the one guy supplying a size 15. Just go with something where
when they're made to order, the gaps won't be the same, because 15s get to order their 15s. I don't have to search for my shoe. I already bought it.
Exactly. And so you gotta go for the masses who have the FOMO, right? You got to be me, who's over here stalking eBay and stalking StockX and GOAT and Twitter and everything to fulfill my collection of the 10 Air Force Ones, right? Like I'm out here spending dumb money because I missed out. I'm late to the game. And so fortunately I'm a size 10. And so it's just working out in my favor. But exactly what Chicago was saying, just go stick to the masses.
Yeah, I mean, there's times where, I can tell you this, I got a dead stock size 15 Red October. I won't let anybody touch that for less than $100,000. That's just a fact, and it'll get paid. Nobody would touch. I mean, it won't go for under 100 G's. There's one pair of dead stock in the entire fucking world, and there's new NBA players that get checks every year.
Dre, we were just talking about these last night, bro. I wouldn't do it, but
yes,
we talked about it.
Yes, we were.
Damn.
I love it. Brandalation's done fucking laughing.
I was gonna say we got to complete the Thanos sneakerhead group chat by adding Fran up.
I'm gonna get out of here on the note that I never grifted this space or the last one. You guys all have a great day.
No, but I love this too. Honestly, when you see the people, and especially the sneaker people that are in these spaces, right? It's and especially the people that are coming. I mean, Chicago. I mean, obviously, a legend. Fran damn near onboarded me just for me watching him. You got SB Collector now coming in saying, I think he just forged over 30-something pairs. When you got these guys that have defined the space and really understand what the space is, and they're telling you, they're putting you up on game, what sizes to resell, what to get, don't FOMO on this, understand what this space is. It's just dope to, again, just have these different perspectives and the people that really have been in Web 2 and the real world with this stuff for a very long time and really understand it, coming in here and saying, this is the wave, right? And this silhouette is definitely it's a hitter, right? And so with that, it's just dope to hear all the different perspectives. And Chicago, I'm glad you hopped in here today.
Love you, buddy.
it just lets you know where we are, man. We've been going through this time period for quite some time. We've been dealing with the FUD, dealing with the bullshit. It just lets you know exactly we're building everything that we've been talking about building this entire time, and it's only going to the next level each release that we have. So these Air Force Ones came out. It's probably only 2 size 14 DNAs. Cass, I can have you check that on the background for me. And then when we go to the future, when we have these dunks drop next year, it's gonna be the same situation. So let's keep this shit
Are
running.
you a 15 or a 14?
I'm a 14 in everything but SBs.
Got it. When you said you had a 14, I figured you fucked up on your size because you could have got your size.
Nah, God gave it to me. God gave it to me. But the size 15 SBs, I got to do. So, and I think, you know what's funny? I think on some
What, like a 16 in Yeezy?
Nah, like a 15. I do 15. But you know what's funny? I think I spoke to you about those size 15 Air Yeezy 2s years ago, and you shot me down. So I think this is
you were the guy on. No, wait, you're talking Facebook way before
you know
this.
it,
You're
my
from
man.
Ohio. You're from Ohio or some
let's
shit.
Run. Let's run.
That's you.
That's me, baby.
Shut the fuck up.
What's good?
Really?
Yes,
the whole
sir.
fucking time that's you.
The whole fucking time is me.
Man, get out of here, bro. You just don't flex cars in your fucking profile pictures over here because you got JPEGs and shit,
hey, we don't need to talk about it. This is a recorded space. This is a recorded space.
I heard you were a midget and with red hair.
Yep. We like to be called short people now, so yeah.
Oh, you can identify as whatever you want in this space, I guess.
Yes, Yo, Dre, when you said your size higher in the SBs, is that because the SBs run smaller? Because I was hearing that they said normally the SBs run smaller, but these ones apparently don't have as thick as the tongue because the CRLs. I'm a slides guy by nature, and the CRLs are just a little too comfy. But I'm not complaining. But I definitely don't want that to happen with the dunks.
There's 2 different types of dunks. There's dunks, and then there's dunk SBs. So dunk SBs have thicker ankle support and thicker tongues, which make them about a half size small.
Yeah, and these run like normal dunks, which,
Damn, Dre, March of 2021, I told you those fucking Yeezys were $50K and you laughed.
Yeah, man. We've been having these conversations for quite some time, bro. I think we first spoke in like 2017 or some shit. But let's not go back.
Later. We'll save it.
What are Yeezys?
You like how this price is a new price too? It's not the same price, Dre.
Yesterday's price isn't today, bro. I had 5 pairs of Red Octobers and a 15. They went for $8,000 off my feet, $15,000, $23,000. One's still in my closet and one's dead stock.
This dude been cooking them big ass sizes for years. He said Facebook, it was right, bro. I was on this.
Oh yeah,
in the messenger.
Went in the fucking messages. I just went. Right
I was
back
in the
there,
messenger.
Bro.
What's
you got
up,
a fucking
bro?
elongated 4 message, bruh.
I need them, bro. What's up, man?
But hey, let's start to Fran real quick. Fran, what's going on, man?
What's good, everyone? Just wanted to say, going into the Air Force Ones, there's a lot of, people that, maybe never heard of NFTs or anything like this. And we're very weird to touch it because, all the media is talking about how NFTs are a scam and this and that. But the amount of DMs and comments and stuff that I'm getting on my Instagram of people actually interested in finding out about these dunks and stuff. I've walked through, I think 2 or 3 people at this point through the whole process of getting MetaMask, getting the NFT, being hyped to be able to get the shoe, being confused, like, is it a raffle? No, you're guaranteed to get the shoe and stuff like this. So just want to say we're still very early, and it's exciting to see the space grow little by little over these shoes that Artifact is producing. So, yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Hey, Fran, we got to ask the obvious question. What's the favorite colorway, though?
I like all of them. In general, on shoes, I love purple on shoes. Black, purple, and green is usually like my favorite combination. So I definitely like the ComplexCon ones, but I also like the OG ones. So yeah, I'd say those 2 over the clones for me personally. But yeah.
We love it, man. You obviously you've been around for a minute. You obviously got a dope collection with the AF1s too. Been supporting Artifacts since like the jump. I think it was super just like crazy watching how people like knew. I think they knew what Artifact was doing because you were talking about it at some point. It's cool because it's like it makes it, like Johnny said, very full circle for the space. Let's throw it to Shadow because you might have some questions for some of you big brains. What's going on, man?
Nah, I just been over here. Sorry if it's too loud. I'm on the treadmill, but I just been over here like, man, they really trying to make me go back to my old plan and getting 14 OGs, but I'm gonna stick with my 7. Y'all not gonna change me up, man. But yeah, it's been really good listening to, new new people, or not really new people, but new people that to me that I haven't heard that are also sneakerheads, but all they're doing is also echoing what Johnny and Dre and Frank and a lot of people have already been telling us in Bad Take almost every single night for months, which is just don't sleep. I mean, look, I mean, I like how uh it was mentioned that it is a 50-50. Nothing is guaranteed, but if Artifact does it right, which I'm always going to bet on Artifact, marketing, seeding, credit card payments, everything is there. I mean, hey, we will see. If you're a believer, stand up and forge. If not, I mean, we'll see what happens. But I'm gonna stick to my 7 though. I'm not gonna go to 14. I really want to after this conversation, but yeah, I'm gonna stick to my
Why
7.
not 24?
Hey man, because financially that would be irresponsible of me. But I could. But nah, I'm just gonna stick to my 7.
We're definitely gonna continue this conversation on Bad Take tonight. I know
Hey, for the
Kaz got
record,
other
I'm going to
shit
say
to
that
do.
anyone without an RFID that comes in a sample pair, I think Johnny and Dre will agree, those become premiums in this market because they're not trackable.
Mm.
I'd say that reptile pair is worth like 30 points on top of normal.
That's a whole new conversation. Let's finish that up in Bad Take because I want to keep Kaz going for the rest of the night. I know he got some shit to do.
Well, look, Dre is helping me out, but not helping me out because I was logging back into my computer because I'm always slow with the outros. But do it big. Let's ask you because you came in heavy hitting. What's the AF1 that you like the most? Because I saw that you picked
The
up a
human.
few.
No, I didn't pick up any.
Hey,
I'll buy the human if anybody's got like a reason. Like that's the only, like if I'm going to pick one, like call it what it is. A few of them are too loud. Murakami goes on my wall, not my foot. And like, so like I'm cool with like that stuff, but I think the human's the cleanest pair. I don't like that my size is going to cost me a stack, but it's still better that I sold my human NFT and didn't mint it, and now I'm buying a pair for $1,000. Like I'll put $1,000 on a 15 human, but like that's about the cap. I don't know
Yeah,
which other ones. I think I'm all about the clean pairs. Like I'm not going to say like whatever that last pair Johnny got. I don't even remember if it's reptile or alien or whatever. Clean as fuck for the right person. Mirakamis, if you can wear them, fucking wear them. If you're 6 foot fucking 6 and fucking a large fucking man or something, I don't know if it's the best shoe for you. But if you're like wearing a size 5 Murakami, bro, that girl probably looks cute.
That's why I love the mechanic of them allowing you to buy two. I mean, I know they did it based off of DNA blockage and stuff like that, so you were only able to get like what you were able to get, but based
One
off
to
the
rock, one to stock.
like the rock one mount, even with the dunks that they're doing with the Void and the CloneX colorways. I mean, it's just like a really dope concept because then it's just like again, you can just decide to actually wear one and rock it, and then wear one, or again just ride that market, right, and just be able to unload them at different time periods, like you said with the Red Octobers, right? You flip one for 8K and then one for 23K a little bit later down the road, and now you got one for 100K. So again, being able to stack as many as
size 15's the nostalgia to that one. Take that one out. But either way, they were $3,500 shoes on release week. And they've only gone up from there consistently forever. Even that 14 smacking over 20K now. And it's just because of who's going to put up the money to wear it. A lot of these teenagers and shit, you're not going to buy a pair of Red Octobers. You're going to buy a used pair. You're going to flip them afterwards, and they're going to be like the Goodwill pair.
I like how you
Some
do it. I like how you
Red
do
Octobers have been owned by like 16 different people already at this point. Like, let's just be really honest. It's gross that people put their fucking foot in used shoes like that, but I'm not going to judge you.
Depending on the size, yeah, they definitely have made their runs. They are streetwalkers to every sense of the word. But I like how you threw that sub in there about the 6'6", 250, but my 6'6", 250 ass is definitely going to be stunning in these DNAs.
Yeah, dude, you remember
Believe that.
out of anybody, when I sold the Red Octobers, it was to that 16-year-old, 17-year-old kid who flew in from LSU that was spending money before Butter started buying everybody up. Like, Butter's the reason we don't have a bunch of fucking shit in our size, because he cleaned that shit. Same thing, with anything else. But I mean, every size fucking 15, 16 in the world fucking went to the fucking Philippines that year.
God, what a time to be alive. I remember Adidas had to shut his down.
You know, and then there's also like the other fair. Like you can also just compare this to a non-Nike product, but like, I mean, Boost had its run. You know, take what an NMD did, and like that's just where this all comes down to like pivot. If people adapt, it runs good. I don't love the economy when these things come out next year, but it's a $200 shoe, not $550. Like retail is what the big difference is, because somebody can flip a $250 shoe for $300 and not feel shitty about themselves.
Hey, this has been a dope town hall. We're gonna keep it going. I usually want to give the last word to somebody. I'm gonna throw it to Mr. Dre Mill. We're gonna let you have the outro. What's good? Give us some final words for today.
Don't forget, we got Bad Steak, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, California International Standard Time. Come through. We can continue the conversation. We appreciate you guys showing up, dropping some knowledge on the people who don't understand what they have in hand. 2 days left. Monday is the last day to Forge. Make sure you jump in there and take care of what you got to take care of. I will see y'all later. You'll probably see me skipping down the street, my 6'6" ass, and these Murakami drips, baby. Fuck with me.
Fuck with them. We'll do that closing in 2 days. Go get them done.